Hello, hello, hello. So now we want to take a look at Tamriel Reloaded Trees. Now this mod is about it's about 68 megabytes. This too was created by 32CM and was ported by Stone Spiral Gaming. A complete rework of the trees in Tamriel to be less boring. And they do. They add in some good variety and some nice things. It is true. They also add some hand-placed trees. And they have... okay, this is a typo. They say maples. I know they meant maples, but it tickles me to see the typo because I do that kind of thing. Anyway, so maples, pines, cherry blossoms, cypress, weeping trees, dead trees. They do have a lot of variety, and it's pretty nice on that front. So this is a good tree mod overall. I'm going to show you the trees and let you decide for yourself. I will tell you that I think it does have a few misses, but overall I think it's a good tree mod. So, you have to look at it and decide for yourself, okay? I do have Mercy standing by, and we're going to start off in Iverstead because there's a lot of different trees that we can see around Iverstead and Riften, and then we'll move off to some foresty areas and look at that, okay? Alright, I will see you there. Okay, so I'm here in Iverstead. Dog, go away. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I'm here in Iverstead. And we want to look at the trees. Now, why I say that this mod has some hits and misses is that I think overall the trees look good. But sometimes, you know how things are represented in Skyrim. Really, all of these trees, all these things are flat. But they use shading and the lighting and stuff to make them look realistically round or 3D to us, correct? I mean, you know that. Okay. So let's just move forward with that premise that you know that. And all trees always have some of this problem, okay? Sometimes the trees kind of give themselves away, and you're like, oh, I can definitely tell that that is flat. And that happens. It happens all the time in the game, in this game, and in Fallout 4 even. It happens all the time. But sometimes with this mod, it seems like it's a little more jarring sometimes. I don't know why. Now, other times it's perfectly fine, and I'm not trying to make fun or be overly critical of this mod. Like I said, I like all the variety. See, you get all this nice variety. They included, you know how I did that game where I included the cherry blossom trees? Well, they included cherry blossom trees, and there's variety. You look around and all the trees are not all the same. Just here you can see some weeping trees there, and those look pretty good. And sometimes they give themselves away. Like I said, sometimes they look better than others. Some of these trees, sometimes they look better than others. That one in the background, back there with its buddy, those two, they are not the best. They kind of give themselves away a little too much in the fact that you can obviously see a lot of flat things sticking off of them. However, like I said, it's not always that way. I mean, not every tree and every design is that way. Now, if you look at their tree bark, I think their tree bark looks really good. For me, growing up around a lot of woods and knowing what tree bark should look like, I think they've done a pretty good job. Is it all 100% perfect? Maybe not, but it looks good. And this tree looks pretty good. So, of course, that could just be a vanilla pine, but even it has a little bit of the flatty problem, But that's okay. Like I said, I like this mod. I think it has just a little bit of... It could just be the game. There's only so much modders can do. Skyrim is an old game, and it's made the way it is made. But you can look off in the distance, and you can see those trees, and they look pretty good. like I said, you can see some places where it's like, well, that's obviously flat, but it's not all that way. You know, if they could do Skyrim now, really redo all of this, this would look a lot better, I'm sure. Are you going to bother me or something? I don't know. Do you have a message for me? Is this the new courier? Anyway, so I'm just showing you the trees. That's all I'm doing. We're just looking at trees. I like the variety, like I said. Lots of different colors, which is nice. Now, in your game, with your lighting and shading, it may look a little better, because I will tell you that I am using luminosity, and I am using a shadows mod, which I have not used in the past. So I'm not sure how much that affects the appearance of these trees. Okay, but I still think the trees look really nice. It's just I say that as a cautionary tale. So if you try this and your trees look even better and the shady parts look even better, then that's why. It won't be anything that I have done. It will just be that's the mod combination. See, but you get some different tree types here. You notice the leaves are different. Lydia, call him a stupid dog and take him out of here. Anyway, so you have these trees with the different leaves, which I like. Everything is not just one or two trees. You know, you have a good combination, a good bit of variety. It's kind of like with the grass. Oh, let's leave that spider alone. I don't want to get into any encounters. We don't want to add to my encounter bloopers. So let's head down. The trees won't change a lot, but let's head down to this farm, and we'll show you some trees down there. Now, we may encounter a spider down there. I don't know. It could be that sometimes some mods, like Always Dragons, sometimes that gets baked into your save. So it could be, even though I turned off some of those encounter mods, that we're still going to get some. But the game does have its own encounters anyway. So anyway, I'll see you at the farm.
Working!
Alright, so we made it to the farm. The dog is noisy as ever. Oh my goodness. But you can look around at these trees. These are the usual aspens, is that right? Anyway, so these are the usual trees like that are out here around Riften and the farm. They look nice. And I think these essentially the vanilla trees. I don't know that these are drastically different. The vanilla trees are not perfect either. That's why I say I'm not trying to be overly critical of the mod. I would like to see some trees that really look really good in 3D better, but that would require a new game, because I just don't think Skyrim was made that way. Now see those green trees off in the distance there? You see how that looks? It looks like we needed just a little more LOD, because look, it looks good. Now when I get just a certain... Hold on. Oh, now it's gonna stay pretty nice for me since it popped in. Okay. Anyway, there's sometimes when the trees in the distance take on this weird amorphous blob shape, and it's like the LOD needs to be tweaked just a little bit so that they don't do that. But overall, you have to admit, or at least I think, that these trees and the forest and stuff looks pretty good. So, alright, dog, hush. Okay, so let's go. We're going to head over. There's not a lot of trees to show around Whiterun, because it doesn't add a lot of trees there. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go down to Falkreath. Well, wait, there is one thing I can show you. Let's go here, and I will meet you there.
Up your shaft.
Alright, so there's only a few trees out here, and some of these are probably added by this mod for the crafting center, but there's a few trees here. But I want you to see the tree behind the western watchtower and those trees over there. They look kind of like that amorphous blobby shape that I was talking about. Now as we walk, they will pop in, but do you notice how weird that looks right there? Now those trees have popped in, okay? But that tree, I think it's going to take a little too long to pop in. It's kind of like, I said, it's almost like the LOD needs to be adjusted a little bit. See how that is still looking very... okay, there we go. Now it popped in. It looks a lot better now. But from a distance, it has that weird amorphous blobby shape. And I mean, some of that is going to happen, I suppose. But I just happen to think that, I've seen that happen a lot. I just happen to think it, you know, it looks like it needs to be tweaked just a little bit so that that doesn't happen quite so much. See, there's one tree back there that hasn't popped in. And I'm getting pretty close. There we go. Now it popped in. So, you know, and the other trees were already popped in, even though I was a good distance away. So I'm not sure if that is specifically, it seems like that would specifically be some kind of LOD. Look at those spiders. See, I think it's baked into my save now. My encounter mod, I think it's all baked in. Even though I turned them off. Look at them spiders. We're not going to go mess with them spiders. We're going to stay over here. I'm not going to increase my blooper or gag reel for today. But these trees are nice. I like the bark and stuff. So let's go over to Falkreath because there's plenty of trees. See there, those trees haven't loaded yet either. They're, oh, hey, they popped right in. Now that was pretty good. That was pretty good because see, they're still a good ways off and they popped in. Oh, there's fire. Let's get out of here. We're not hanging out here. We're going to Falkreath and look at some trees. Oh no! Oh no! Do I have bad guys near me? Oh goodness, remove that. I must have bad guys near me. I don't have my display on. Alright, I guess we're going to have another addition to the blooper reel. I'll be right back.
Affirmative.
Alright, so we made it to Falkreath. And we still have the stupid dog. I'm going to have to take him home. Thank you, Lydia. That was, I much appreciate that. That's why I keep her around. Just so she can say stupid dog. Anyway, these trees, now you'll notice, now, I mean, this is the same as with some of the vanilla trees. There's some flattiness there that, you know, is readily apparent. But overall, when you look around, you know, you won't always notice that. When you do, it's kind of jarring, but it happens in the vanilla game too. I mean, it has to do with the whole Skyrim graphics and engine, and there's only so much the modders can do. But nonetheless, the trees overall look good. They have bark. You have some variety. You're not just looking at one type of tree all the time. Though this is still largely pine trees, but it's not all pine trees. You'll notice there is some variety, which is very cool. Now, I have given up on the idea of not having my encounter mods because they appear to be baked in anyway. So I'm just going to go with it, and we'll just make blooper reels as needed, or maybe I'll call it like random encounters with Mercy or something like that. So, but see these trees? I like these trees, and it makes a nice canopy here. Do you see that? Looks very cool. I know, you know, like I said, there's a couple little minor things with this mod, like that kind of LOD thing, but I don't know if they can really change that in the mod or not. That may just be a limitation with Skyrim. But look at this. This is pretty nice. So I think this is a good tree mod overall. I've tried some different ones. And I like this one overall. It's very nice, and it's not too huge. You know, some of them are really big, and yeah, maybe the really big ones are really better, but my goodness, this one's really nice. Adds a lot of variety for the size. And you know, you get the little sunlight breaking through. It looks cool. I think it looks very good. But then, you know me, I'm easily entertained, but nonetheless, I couldn't do this, so I'm glad somebody out there can, because I think the trees look good here. I think this really is nice, and like I said, it creates this little canopy here over this road, which looks very cool. I think that's a very nice effect. Yes, you know, Lydia, you and the dog, y'all are just annoying. Anyway, so as you look around, You see all the different trees here, and these are all green. You won't see aspens here in this area, I don't think. At least I haven't yet. So I guess our next place to go is we're going to go up around Dragon Bridge and see what the trees look like up there, and then we'll pretty much be done, because I think that'll give you a good glimpse of the major trees you're going to see in the game, and give you an idea if you're interested in this mod or not. So I'll meet you there. Okay, so we're here in not Falkreath. Where are we? Dragon Bridge. We're in Dragon Bridge, yes. And you can see some trees around here. Mainly pine trees. You can see those out there. This is where I say, you know, sometimes the trees don't look as good as I would like, you know, but that's true in the vanilla game, that's true in the game all the time. But you can see some different varieties of trees here.
If those
though
gods can take down the dragon, so can we.
This is mainly pines. They're not all pines. There are some other trees. So, and you can see the way, I do like the way the light shines in through the trees. That's cool. And it's nice the way they have these trees here. So this looks very good. Oh, pardon me, something to take care of. Alright, so looking at the trees here around Solitude, again, just showing you that there is some variety, but not a lot of variety. It is mainly pines, but not all. And you know, they tried to sprinkle in some variety, but they didn't overdo it. So I think once again, I think this is a good mod. I know there are limitations with Skyrim and its engine. It's an old engine. And the trees, most of the trees look good. The tree bark looks pretty good. I think all the tree bark looks good, if that sentence was said properly at all. But nonetheless, looks very good. Looks very nice. It kind of gives the right atmosphere. I don't know what Lydia's up to. Alright, so anyway, let me show you the mod, because I think that's mainly, you know what? Oh, I forgot. You know what? We should go look at some snowy trees up in Dawnstar before we go. Alright, I'll see you in Dawnstar. Alright, so we're here in Dawnstar, and you can see the snowy trees. Now, I'm not sure that there's any, I don't know if this mod really affects these or changes these, since it doesn't particularly say. I'm kind of assuming that it at least tries to. But regardless of whether it does or not, with this mod, these trees still look good. They look good and snowy and a little frozen, which is what you want. Thank you, Lydia. Keep telling that dog he's stupid. We're going to get rid of him, and unfortunately I'm going to have to let you go too, because you're glitched and not acting correctly. So, alright, Lydia does not like amazing follower tweaks, and she does not cooperate. She has her own inbred programming, and that's what she wants to do all the time, so that's fine. Anyway, here you go. Yes, someone stole my sweet roll. Wow, there's a lot of talking. People, just give me a moment. I'm trying to pass through. Okay, so anyway, the trees look nice. They look frozen, like I would expect. So I don't see anything startling, new, or different, but they do look nice. If this mod is changing these trees, which I think it adds to a little bit of everything. I hope I'm not, you know, it doesn't say for sure, so anyway, let's take a look at the mod and maybe we'll settle that up.
The new configuration is stable.
Alright, so this has been Tamriel Reloaded Trees. It is just under 68 megabytes. Now again, this was created by 32CM and ported by Stone Spiral Gaming. it is a good mod. I think I mentioned there's some limitations and there's some things that, you know, look better than others. But overall, I like the variety. I like the trees. I like the, what's the word? I just like the mod. I mean, overall, because of the variety and everything. Now, it says it's a complete rework of Skyrim trees. So, it is a complete rework. So, that means even these frozen trees would be changed. So, and then it does, you know, it does make the changes for variety, and it also hand places some trees all over the map. I don't know where that would be. And then there's maples and pines and cherry blossoms and cypress and weeping trees and dead trees. Anyway, overall, good mod. You have to look at it and decide for yourself. It's not as big as some, and that may explain why there's some things where I say, you know, maybe it could be just a little better. But, again, would it be any better? Is there anything that you can do in this old game to make that better? I don't know. I'm not a modder myself, so. But I'm just saying, it seems like some of the other tree mods I've seen didn't have some of these issues, but now some have. And I've pointed that out with some other tree mods that have very similar issues. And I think it may be a limitation of the Skyrim graphic game engine. So, and that's okay. We have to remember this is, what, is it 10 years old yet? I mean, really, parts of it are 10 years old because you know it was in development for a while before they put it out. So, parts of it, I'm sure, are 10 years old, or maybe even older. But the game actually came out, though, what, 2011, right? So, it's at least 9 years old, especially when we get down to the end of this year. So, alright. Anyway, with that in mind, I still think, even without that in mind, this is still a good mod. It shows some good trees, and it gives you some fun variety. And when you're just playing, you know, the trees are kind of part of the atmosphere, but they're not the most important part of the game. But they are part of the atmosphere, and it does create, like I showed you, that one canopy and some different places. It does create some nice atmosphere for you. At least I think it does. So, you know, very subjective. Try and see what you think. Alright, so thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later.
I fought mud crabs more fearsome than you.